Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. I have a new mic, so hopefully the sound will be better. And today I want to talk about learning to live with regrets in our lifetime. I'm sure that every one of us have regrets on certain things, whether if they're big or small, and maybe some situation in life that we wanted to do otherwise. Now that we look back on them, we know that we would have done otherwise. But the question is, how do you continue from there? And I think a lot of us tend to still be mad and still carry the weight of that regret upon ourselves, even years after we made a certain decision. And this is natural, but I feel like we should have looked at it in another way. And I will explain the way that I look at certain things like that. So let me start with the story, as I always do, about myself. So when I was 21, I went on a course in order to be a security guard on a cruise ship, the biggest cruise ship company in the world. And there were a few weeks of interviews, which after 2 weeks in Cyprus, some physical tests, some running, some push-ups, some pull-ups, and some written tests with information. And that's it. After 2 weeks, I did a course and I went home. Back then, I also had a girlfriend, which is important to mention. I had a girlfriend for a few years, which I loved. And I had my family, of course, and my friends. And taking that job meant that I go away for 1 year. Okay, and if I move a little bit forward, a few days later, I got a call from that company which said that I got the job. And until that point, I was still dwelling. I did that course just because it was my dream, right? But I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to see more people. I wanted to meet more people. I wanted to make money while doing so. That was the perfect opportunity for me. Also, the age, I was 21, I was eager, I was adventurous. I didn't have a lot to do in my life, so I had free time, free mental space. So it is something that I always wanted to do, and now that I got the answer, that I got accepted, suddenly I needed to choose for real. What do I do? Do I go there for 1 year away from my girlfriend, from my family, from my friends? Or do I stay and give up that dream that I have of being on a cruise ship? And I thought about it for a while. I remember I was talking with my friends. I was talking with my mom back then, with my dad, with my girlfriend as well, to see that if I go, where are we in the relationship? Does the relationship continue? Does it end? If I stay, what happens? And after a while of thinking, I decided not to take the job. I remember I called the company and I told them a few days before, 1 week maybe, they wanted me to embark on a ship. I told them I'm not going to take the job, because that's how it works. You only sign the contract after you got accepted. So technically you can say no also before. I told them I'm not going to take the job. And then they put me in sort of a blacklist, I remember. And that was it. I didn't go for it. And after a few months, and if I remember correctly, a few months after my relationship actually ended, which was one of the big reasons that I didn't take this job, because I had a girlfriend back then. And if I skip forward a few years, I always had that feeling, that sensation of regret, that maybe I should have taken that job. I didn't blame my ex-girlfriend for me not taking the job. I didn't blame my friends. I didn't blame my family. The only person who was accountable was me. But I still had that sense of regret in me, that I could have chosen otherwise. I could have traveled the world. I could have made money while doing so. I could have made my dream come true, And fast forward a little bit more, I'm here in Europe studying my bachelor in music, which I always wanted. So overall, I think I accept this regret in a good way. And today I can tell you that I'm happy with the decision I made. You know, I'm happy that I didn't take the job on the cruise ships. And this is for a few reasons. One is that I accepted, and this is something we all need to do, I think. I accepted that this is in the past and I cannot go back and change it. So if I cannot go back and change it, why worry? Why worry? And the second reason is I thought about it through back then. Back then I had all of the options on the table of which I can choose from. And I really thought about it through, and I made a decision that I thought fits for me the best at that time. And if I did so, then I cannot judge myself about that decision, because at that time I thought this was the best decision for me. As long as you don't choose, everything remains possible in your life. But as long as everything remains possible, you need to take the time and think which decision is the best for you now. And once you choose, that's it. You chose the best decision that you saw fitting yourself at that time. And the third reason that I think that decision was good is because I am who I am now. Fast forward 7 years, I am who I am now. This decision was a part of the sum of all of my decisions that led me to who I am now. And I cannot be more happier of who I am now. And this is something I want to talk about. So let's say you had a decision you made, or you hurt someone, or something you did and you regret it. Any kind of regret, Think for yourself about the things that I said. Can you go back and change it? No. Did you make the best decision that fit your past self at that time? If your answer is yes, then don't worry about it. If your answer is no, then maybe the next time you make a decision, try to make the best decision regardless of whether you think you're going to regret it or not. And the third one, if you think about something that you regret, try to think about the person you are today and understand that the person that you are today is the sum of the turns that you took before you got here. Whether if those turns were right turns or wrong turns, right decision, wrong decisions, it doesn't matter. We are the sum of our decisions, our past decisions. I once saw an interview with Kevin Hart where he said that the sun is not waiting for nobody. Tomorrow the sun is going to be up in the sky regardless of how we feel and how we think about decisions that we made. And he says a really good sentence there. He says that if he has something that he regrets about, it doesn't matter. He just wakes up and he tries to figure out life from this point on. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Try to figure out life from this point on, because dwelling on the past does not matter. The weight of it does not matter. What you think about it does not matter. And it only can hurt you and affect you and your future decisions. One thing you can do sometime is maybe correct a certain regret you had, whether if you hurt someone, whether if you didn't take the job that you could have taken, or opportunity or whatever, sometimes you can still fix those things, still go and apologize for your past mistake, still go and maybe apply again for that job, and sometimes it cleans your heart, it cleans that weight that I was talking about. But I feel like we need to learn how to live with regrets, because we all have regrets. And one point is that we cannot go back and change them. And the other point is that time goes only forward. So you might as well think how you can figure out life from this point on. And once you make a certain decision, try to come up with the best solution for you at that time. And After a few years looking back, just know that you made the best decision for yourself. So why worry? Why regret, And if there is a regret that you can fix, just go and fix it. But try not to carry too much weight on yourself from past regrets and from past decisions, because you're gonna need that space for other stuff in your life. So yeah, I guess one tip for me to you will be to try and be more easy on yourself, Next time you make a big decision, next time you have to choose, next time you regret maybe on something you did, try to understand that time cannot go backwards. You can only go forward, and try to make the best decision at that moment. And if you regret about something, try to ask yourself, how am I going to fix it? And if I cannot fix it, then just move on, and try to come with peace with your decisions and understand that you are who you are today because of that decision and all of the other decisions that you made along the line. Yeah, so that's it. So I hope I could reach some of you with that point that I made. If you're not subscribed yet, please do. And I hope the sound was better today. And thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.